Hey everyone, welcome back to BDG Reviews. I've got for you today is a vinyl update, like vinyl and music. Um, it's been a while since I've done one, so I've got a decent sized stack here. When I remember the price, I'll let you know what I paid for them. So, we'll just start right at the beginning. First up, we have the greatest rock and roll hits. This is a 4 album set. I got this for $3 at like a Goodwill or something. Um, it's all like old school, like Isley Brothers, Five Satins, the Crows, Buddy Knox, like all these like old, like 50s style, rock and roll. And it is what it is. I'm glad to have it. And for $3, you can't go wrong. One thing also I gotta say is these older, like box set type releases. The great thing about these is, hold on, let me just see if I can get one out here and just show you. They're always in beautiful shape. And like I said, I grabbed this from like what's it called? A Goodwill. So it's not like this is, like a highly, sought after album or something. This is just basically like a throwaway type little box set. But the quality on these box sets are always very high. Maybe it's because they're in boxes and people just don't play them a lot. I don't know. But, $3, that's a damn good deal, honestly. So, there we go. Next up, we have Cocksparrer with Guilty as Charged. I love Cocksparrer. If you haven't heard them, they are British punk from back in the 70s, and they're just a really solid punk band, and they're awesome. I got this for $24. I actually found this in a store, which is kind of like mind-blowing, because the Cocksparrer box set I got of the CDs, I had to order that because like nowhere carried them, and then all of a sudden, boosh, record store. Can't go wrong. Next, this was also $24. This is Cocksparrer Forever. This is the latest album they did. Unfortunately, this is a picture disc. I'm not a fan of picture discs. I find them to be very, that's the band right there. They don't sound the greatest. They don't sound horrible. I mean, it's certainly playable. But it was like, I found both of these records together, and I was like, you know what, am I going to turn it down because it's a picture disc? But it's Cocksparrer. I'm like, no, I'm gonna take it even if it's a picture disc. Like I said, not the. Let me find a better place for these. I'm not the biggest fan of picture discs, but for what it is, I'll live with it. Next up, this was $15.99. This is UK Subs. This is a 10-inch LP, which is weird, on red and blue vinyl. Yeah, it's a full-length album, but it's been put onto 2 records and made 10-inch. I don't know why, but for what it cost me and everything, I'm down for it. I like UK Subs. They're a pretty damn good little punk band, and for that price, you can't go wrong. Next, this one I actually got from Amazon, surprisingly, and I got it pretty cheap. This was $14, I want to say. It was during the Prime sale. That's Vader with Black to the Blind. Okay, and it's on this really nice. Yeah. It's Vader. It's death metal. It is what it is. It's Vader, and for like the price, it was a no-brainer. You just had to get that, you know. Next up, we have the Alan Parsons Project with Gaudi. I got this one for $7.99. I love the Alan Parsons Project. It's great, just like proggy type stuff, and of all, I haven't paid full price for a single one of their albums. You can find them all the time in thrift stores, in like bargain bins in the record store. Don't sleep on it. It's good stuff. So also, this one was also $7.99. This is again the Alan Parsons Project. This one is Vulture Culture. Yeah, at prices like that, you get them, you know, and you improve your collection. You get good stuff. So next up, this one was quite a steal. This is Steve Perry, guy that used to be the singer for Journey back in the day. I got this brand new, never been played, $8.46 because it was 75% off at the record store. I guess they were trying to get rid of their old copies of stuff. So, and this was one of them. So I jumped on it, and you can't complain when you're getting prices like that. You can't complain. This one was $27.99. Again, this was a steal simply because I see this going for a lot more wherever I look. The Ramones with Subterranean Jungle on this like pink, like purplish pink vinyl. Really solid later years Ramones. When you think of the Ramones, essentially everyone has their own era for the Ramones. Mine has always been kind of like from the Ramones, the first album, right up to kind of like end of the century. And then it sort of like trickled off a bit. But still, the second phase of their career or whatever, still good music. Can't complain. It's the Ramones. Honestly, I know, what's his name? Henry Rollins once did a whole thing about, like if you want to solve like a war, like you get the first two Ramones albums, you send one to one group of people, one to the other one, and after a while from them listening to it, they'll like automatically just sort of like be drawn to each other and be like, that sounds like the Ramones, but I don't know that song. I don't know. You never know. Next, this was $15. This is Duran Duran with Rio. It's Duran Duran. I never used to be the biggest fan of Duran Duran, but my buddy Will turned me on to them because, I'd always lump them in the same category as like all like your basic like 80s like pop rock type stuff, and it just never really appealed to me. But with my buddy Will talking about it and everything, I've taken a shine to Duran Duran. Musically, they're at a much higher level than some of those other bands of the same ilk. I will say that is what it is. I'm glad to have it. Next up, these were 2 for 1, and I got one was $8, so the other one was free. We have Gordon Lightfoot with Dream Street Rose. I'm Canadian. I buy Gordon Lightfoot. It's like a law. You have to. If you don't, you're not a real Canadian, I guess. I don't know. But honestly, you gotta be a fan of Gordon Lightfoot if you're a Canadian. Come on. And the other one, which I got for free, was Gordon Lightfoot. This is East of Midnight. Yeah, it was 2 for 1 on like all like the folk type records, and both of those were in, so I was more than happy to take them home. Now we just got a few CDs. First up, we got Testament with Demonic. I got this for, I think it was $7. Um, I like Testament, you know. I got in this little, sleeve thing. A lot of my CDs are now in these, just like the plastic sleeves. It's just so much less room to take up, and it works. Solid album. And last up for CDs, this was $35. Totally worth it. Pantera, complete studio albums. It's all of Pantera's studio albums in one of the boxes, like the. I love these sets simply because they make it really easy to buy into a band. Now, I mean, I've been a fan of Pantera for years. I've had cassettes, I've had CDs, whatever. All different sorts of things. But over the years, things have gotten worn out. Things have just gotten lost. So I saw this and I was like, $35, and you get Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, Far Beyond Driven, Great Southern Trendkill, and Reinventing the Steel. So you get like their entire discography for $35. I can't complain at that. And whenever I see these type of releases for something that I'm even somewhat interested in, they're always worth getting. I mean, what do I have? I have this. I have Overkill. I have Cockspur, Dokken, Testament, Anthrax. All these things that I got in like the like collected edition type things for a reasonable price, which goes back to something I've said before, like about the box sets, like when you grab like the Chinese like bootleg type box sets, it's an affordable way to buy into a band, especially if you're looking at a band with a big discography. You can be looking at like a lot of money, like you gotta reckon, like, I actually added this up, $35. Okay, I actually went on was it Amazon? I think I went on Amazon and I actually took every Pantera album, I put it in the cart, and I saw how much it was going to come up to, all on CD, just like this, and it was going to be about $58 plus shipping. This was $35. Take that for what you will, but I love these type editions. Yeah, so that is it for my music update. Yeah, like I said, some good stuff. The real standouts are definitely the Cockspur albums, but like I said, not the biggest fan of picture discs, but if that's the only option you give me, that's what I'm going to go with. I would rather have a picture disc version of Cockspur Forever than not have it. Just saying. Though, honestly, if ever I was somewhere and they had, like, just a black version, and if maybe they were willing to just, maybe not necessarily a straight trade, but willing to take that as trade in and get just a standard black or colored version, I would probably do that. But that's just me. Okay, so that's it for me. See you next time.